Move on to Memphis. Brian Roberts to Miami. Blake Griffin just met with the media moments ago, and he apologized to Clipper fans, said he regrets the decisions he made that evening, and he's spoken to Matthias Testy multiple times. Bad news for Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, as he will miss the rest of the season with a torn labrum. Redskins and Kirk Cousins say discussions on the contract have halted. Cousins will become a free agent on March 9th. The Browns are going to have some answers to try to come up with a quarterback this year. Josh McCown, still in Cleveland, joined Mike Florio on Pro Football Talk today and spoke about his role.
My expectation is to come in and work and be available and be ready to do whatever's asked of me. And if that's to bring along a draft pick and to start until that guy's ready, then I'm willing to do that. If that's to go the full 16, I'm excited about doing that. And if that's just to help that guy as he takes over, just whatever my role, whatever's asked of me, I just want to help us win football games.
Today is franchise tag day, or at least it starts, and the Philadelphia Eagles say they will not use it on Sam Bradford. The Lions have cut Joique Bell. Ronda Rousey, a guest on the Ellen Show earlier today, admitted she wasn't sure what to do with herself after her first career loss.
In the medical room, and I was down in the corner. I was sitting in the corner, and I was like, what am I anymore if I'm not this? And I was literally sitting there and thinking about killing myself, and the exact second I'm like, I'm nothing. I'm like, what do I do anymore? And
an emotional Ronda Rousey. Listen to NBC Sports Radio on your local station, online, and the mobile app.
WHOO Kissimmee. Lock us in. Sports Talk 1080, the team. Orlando. Powered by SportsTalkFlorida.com.
Yeah. Tony P. And I'm applying full court pressure, baby. Understand me. Understand? Let's go. Man, I'm up the blind, I don't see no D. Posted with the squad, come and see about me. Hands up in the air now. Wave 'em round like you really don't care now. Put that ball up in my hand, you know I'm scoring. Man, I know I'm so above the rim, I must be Jordan. Or I must be Kobe, or Alonzo in the morning. Or I know they snoring, about to wake them out the coma. Cause I'm applying full court pressure, baby. Understand me, full court pressure, baby.
It is now 7 p.m. Eastern Time here in Orlando, Florida, here on 1080 The Team. This is Full Court Press Radio, sponsored by SOFOELLC Live. We're checking in tonight on an interesting trade afternoon here in the NBA, but I can't do this show without my co-host calling in from the city of brotherly love. He is the NBA draft expert and also our social media manager for NBAFCPRadio.com. My main man, Marc Johnson. Marc, how you doing, my friend?
Good. Aaron Gordon got robbed. That's it.
That's the general consensus out here in Orlando. Aaron Gordon gets robbed. The Sixers are still bad. Life goes on. And also, the other co-host of the show, he is the managing editor of NBAFCPRadio.com. Also a Magic fan and also one of the most opinionated people you're going to find. Paul Myers, what's up, my friend?
Man, it's already been a good start to the week on trade deadline week, so I'm excited. I'm waiting to see what else happens.
For those who are listening to the show for the very first time, or for the ones who have been listening to us for a while, if you go to www.sportstalkflorida.com and you click on the top of us, you see our show logo on there. You actually can watch us in studio tonight. So, guys, let's take a look at the camera and wave.
Oh.
And in the corner, he'll be checking in from time to time is our good friend Zach Oliver, the editor of Orlando Pinstripe Post. He has a lot to talk about with Orlando Magic, especially in hour number 2, because Magic fans, I know that you have a lot to talk about with Tobias Harris. Also, hanging out with us in studio, he is one of the producers here at Sports Talk 1080 The Team. He's also one of the hosts of Florida Sports Insiders on Saturday. My main man, Eric Lopez, hanging out with us tonight. Eric, how you doing?
Doing good. Glad I can join you on this eventful day here.
So, for those who want to call in and check in with us, we're going to take calls after the 8 o'clock hour. It'll be 407-482-3776 is the number to dial in with us tonight. So, before we start talking trades and start talking about the All-Star game, we also want to talk about Chris Bosh.
Real quick.
Chris Bosh, he's out indefinitely. Now, we thought it was a calf strain. It was diagnosed before the All-Star game, before Bosh wasn't going to be allowed to play in it. Now, potentially, it's another blood clot. Last year, the blood clot costed him the second part of the season. And I think it might, in a lot of cases, it torpedoed the Heat's playoff hopes last year.
Right.
and now Bosch is out indefinitely again. Hopefully it's not a blood clot situation. Guys, I'm going to start with Paul this one. There's been a rumor that Hassan Whiteside was going to be dealt for Dwight Howard. Do you think the Heat are pumping the brakes on this one now with Chris Bosh's situation?
Well, I actually think it should be the other way around. If Chris Bosh is going to be out indefinitely, I would probably go ahead and pull the trigger on the Dwight Howard trade, and there's a reason, because Dwight Howard said he's going to opt out after this season. In either regard, you don't really have to worry about salary because they don't have to sign Hassan Whiteside to the ridiculous contract that he's going to command this offseason. So I don't know that it really matters, to be honest, because, you're kind of trading one for the other and they do similar things. But I think the pressure of having to sign a guy like Hassan Whiteside over the summer to a big deal, if you don't want to deal with that pressure, then you go ahead and pull the trigger on the Dwight Howard trade. Otherwise, you're really just kind of splitting hairs here.
Now, Mark, before I get you on this one, here's my question for you, Mark. Hassan Whiteside only makes $980,000 a year this season.
As of right now.
Now, you can't look ahead to the future because you have to match salaries at this point in time.
Right.
Dwight Howard, I think, is around $18.5 million. So more than likely, if you're going to trade Hassan Whiteside, it's either going to be Gordon Dragic going back to Houston or it's going to be Luol Deng. Mark, if you're the Miami Heat, are you willing to give up a Dragic or a Deng with a Whiteside to bring in Dwight Howard, knowing potentially you don't have Chris Bosh either?
I would say yes, because Miami's blowing this thing up at the end of the season anyway. Next season, it's going to be a totally new team. A lot of salary comes off the books. Whiteside, he's going to command a lot of money. He's a young guy who might not, the franchise might not trust him. Kind of flamed out the NBA the first time, then got his act together. You're handing over $20 million plus a season to a guy like that. I'm not so sure, and Pat Riley's not so sure, and that's why, a deal hasn't been done.
Well, for me, my main concern is that the Miami Heat, if Bosh comes back, is still a championship contender.
They're not.
I think they are.
You're wrong.
If you're adding Dwight Howard, okay, just hear me out. If you're adding Dwight Howard and you have Chris Bosh, or if you turn around and don't trade for Dwight Howard, and there's been rumors about Al Horford and Jeff Teague potentially making their way towards South Beach, and we'll discuss that with our guest Steve Kyler later on at the 7:45. My question is, Miami still has one good shot left in them to make a run at this. I know you're saying blow it up and run it over, of course, but guys, don't you want to give it at least one more shot with these guys?
No.
Mark?
Nah. I think this was the shot. I think this was the team that they put together that maybe can get you a last shot. I think after that, it's going to be blown up.
Let's be honest. They were pretenders. They're pretenders. Let's say hypothetically they beat Cleveland, in the playoffs, and they make it to the finals. They don't stand a chance against any of those Western Conference teams. They're pretenders.
I don't know. Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh.
Come on, man. Pipe dreams.
It's not pipe dreams.
They're pretend. Dan, they can't beat anybody in the West. Matter of fact, I don't think they beat Chicago in a 7-game series, and I definitely don't think they beat Cleveland in a 7-game series.
Chicago?
So first off, they have to get over those two teams to get to the finals, and then they will get swept in the finals by any team that makes it out of the West.
I can see the sweeping part, but Chicago?
Chicago would beat them in a 7-game series. If healthy, would beat them in a 7-game series.
Mark, okay, we're talking about a Chicago team that doesn't have Joakim Noah. Do you really think that Chicago beats Miami right now if both teams are healthy without – okay, we can't count Noah. But you think Chicago beats Miami?
I think both these teams aren't really that good. I think this will be like a 7-game series by default. I don't think either one of these teams do much. In Cleveland, I'm not so hot on them either, but they're better.
Right.
I don't know. The East is a mess right now. That's really all I can say about the Eastern Conference. It's a complete mess.
Yeah, I think both of those teams lose to Toronto right now in a 7-game series.
That I'll give you.
So, you're talking about 2 hurdles they would have to jump, not just Cleveland, but Toronto. And then, like I said, we're not even going to discuss the finals. That would be it's just not fair. So, let's move on from Miami, man. Those clowns are done this year.
Hold on. Now, I want to get 2 more opinions on this one. I'm going to ask Eric and Zach real quick. Does Miami have a chance at this if they keep the roster together? Zach, go first.
No, they don't. But I think that the big thing that we're missing in this whole Chris Bosh thing is this could be a career ender if this is a reoccurring thing. This is the second year in the row he's had a blood clot. He's back on blood thinners now, which was reported by the AP today.
And that's what they're concerned about. They're concerned that it's a chronic thing.
Yeah.
And I've had a PE before, so I know what it's like. Those blood thinners are no joke. So, yeah. So,
and I'd also like to say that I was very wrong when I picked the Heat to go to the finals in the preseason.
You can't say it wrong because you didn't know Chris Bosh was going to get a PE at this time of year, potentially if it's a PE.
I don't think it mattered.
Elo, what do you think?
I'm with you, Dan. I think the Heat would have been a contender with this team. They are the team. They've had the experience in the playoff. They have guys that can prove themselves. Here's my question to you, though. If Bosch's career, as Zach says, let's say it could be in jeopardy, do you reconsider maybe keeping Hassan Whiteside for the future, or do you just don't think he has any future leverage at all?
I don't invest $20 million in real quickly, guys.
That's what it comes down to. Is I don't know that you can trust him enough, so I think it's time to blow it up.
Mark, what do you think? 30 seconds.
Yeah, I don't think I would trust him. I mean, he flamed out in the NBA already. First time. I mean, guys turn it around, but I just don't trust him.
Well, we're going to take a quick break here on Full Court Press Radio, sponsored by SOFOELLC here on Sports Talk 1080 The Team. When we come back, we're going to talk about the All-Star Game, All-Star Weekend, and Aaron Gordon and Zach LaVine. Was this dunk contest almost as good as Jordan and Dominique? We'll find out when we get back.
Looking for a great place to eat in the College Park area of Orlando? A place to go on special occasions like anniversaries, date nights, or just because moments? Well, Pepe Bistro is the hottest new place to go in Orlando. Pepe features flavors from the Mediterranean as well as Italy, with a full bar and wine menu. Check out their Saturday brunch and live local jazz on Thursday nights. Stop by the Pepe Bistro at 2611 Edgewater Drive at the corner of Edgewater and West Winter Park Street, or give them a call at 407-420-1144 to make reservations. I just bought my son sick basketball apparel from DHTK.com. DHTK.com has all the newest and coolest brands, such as Don't Hate the King, Repra, 23NT, and GAM30VER. DHTK.com vision is to integrate culture, fashion, and attitude that best represents the players and caters to us, the fans. Click on DHTK.com and subscribe to their basketball updates for an automatic 10% off. If you're a basketball fan, you must follow their social media accounts. Visit DHTK.com for all the details. DHTK.com. Don't hate the king.
Parents, do your kids like to run around the house? Do your kids have a nonstop stream of energy? Well, Preschool Sports has a program to help you and your children be able to take that talent and energy and give them an outlet to grow those skills with their brand new track and field program. From ages 2 to 11, Preschool Sports will be able to teach them as individuals and as a team. To sign up or for more information, call 407-463-2061 or check them out at preschoolsports.com. Better hurry, season starts January 10th, 2016.
We are back for Full Court Press Radio, sponsored by SOFOELLC on Sports Talk 1080 The Team. I'm your host, Dave Thompson, checking in with you tonight with my main man, Paul Myers and Marc Johnson, NBAFCPRadio.com, as well as Zach Oliver from Orlando Pinstripe Post, checking in from time to time. He'll also be talking Magic in the second hour, and also our good friend Eric Lopez hanging out with us in studio. We are going to take callers, especially from Magic fans, because I know you guys have a lot to talk about, but we'll do that in hour number 2. Guys, this weekend, the NBA All-Star Game was going on in Toronto. So before we jump ahead to Charlotte in 2017, let's talk about this weekend. The game on Friday night, the USA versus the world, an interesting affair. It was won by Team USA 157-154.
Yeah.
And I thought it was a prelude to something we saw on Sunday. Guys, real quickly, in the local region, Mario Hezonja in the first half looked very, very impressive.
He's gotten better as the year's gone along. In general, to me, I don't think offense was ever really the concern here. The guy's able to shoot it from anywhere on the court. He can put it down. He can take it to the basket. I'll say this. I just think it's been lack of opportunity that's really not allowed him to show what he can do, and that's partly because of defense, obviously. And so I understand it, but at the same time, now we're getting to see what his abilities can do.
Now, Marc, one of your guys that you've talked about for a very long time had a huge game, Emmanuel Mudiay. I think he scored 30 points in the game on Friday night. Was this something you expected from Emmanuel in this game?
That's his game. I mean, I said he was the best one-on-one player coming out in the draft. I still felt that way. This is his kind of game. I mean, if you want to run it up and down and